Hey everybody, this is On Screen, Off Screen. We are all definitely very much awake and we like to talk about media and how it affects our lives and how our lives affect what we watch. Let's see. Start with you, Conlon. You have a lot to talk about this week. You
Okay, I'm gonna
have a lot of
start with the book I liked less, and then I'm gonna go to the book I liked more. Monday's Not Coming. Josh, both of my topics this week I recommend to you specifically, both of them. Monday's Not Coming is a murder mystery where a girl has it's a black girl, it's a black neighborhood, and she has a best friend who is in the bad part of town where people are forgotten a lot, and they live just outside of Washington D.C. And her mom, you find out, is into drugs and alcohol. Maybe there's some prostitution there. Like she lives a rough life. Her best friend's mom. Our main character's mom is just a good lady she's a very black woman. Like it felt like it was very written well. I mean, I'm a white guy. I don't know that much, but it felt real to me, and I bought it the entire time. The girl's friendship is fantastic, and one of the things that didn't really work for me is I'm not a teenage girl, so that teenage girl friendship and the way that they would talk was not as appealing to me. But that doesn't mean it wasn't done extremely well. I think it was. It felt like best friends. It felt like literally two halves of one person. That's how it felt when they were talking, and she was missing her other half. And she's going to the school board and she's being like, "Listen, this is weird. My friend would have told me if she left and went and lived with her dad. She would have told me if she lived with her aunt. She would have told me if she was gone. Like she's my best friend. We've been best friends since we were born. It's been 14 years of being best friends. Somebody listen to me." And there's a teacher that she used to have that decides to listen to her and decides to raise a stink and like try to get something to happen, but nobody will listen. And this murder mystery expands, and they do a good job of including little clues about what's going on, of building intensity and thrill aspect of where is this friend? Why is nobody paying attention? Why isn't the government listening? Why aren't these schools listening? Why does the mom not any want her daughter to look for her best friend? Like, what is going on? Why is her dad so like nonchalant about it? Why does the best friend's dad not know where her daughter is? Apparently that's where she was supposed to be staying. Why is that happening? And it builds up and builds up and builds up. And during all of this, you have the main girl who's going through normal high school things, and it is very YA that way because she's like has a crush on a boy, and she's going on her first date, and like it goes through these date things, and she's talking about Monday. Monday is her best friend, and I would tell you all about this Monday, and we'd stay up all night Monday, and we talk about this all night Monday, and I can't do this without you. And you find out that the main girl has dyslexia, and it's like messing with her brain, and that adds to the story. And she's crying out for Monday because Monday's the one that helped sort her thoughts and helped her write and helped her do well in school and all of these different things. And she's literally missing her other half. And they do a really good job of showing that they're missing their other half. My one thing with the book is I'm not a teenage girl, so I wasn't exactly the prime audience, but I can still realize that this was a well written book with an ending that may not satisfy people, but I found satisfying in the result and not satisfying in some of the character developments. That's where I'm going to go with that. Making for a story that I'm glad that I read, and something that I think that you, Josh, in particular, would enjoy because you like a lot of the stuff that is inside of this book. I'm going to give it like, for me, it's like a 7. I'm glad I read it, but just a solid 7.
So when you say like you're not the target audience because you're not a teenage girl like the main character, um I've heard you like mention this several times, but like it's books that you read and you get something out of it. So doesn't that like I guess
This
you're an audience, not the target, but what
I'm an
makes you
this is
differentiate? Sorry.
when you listen to this book or you read it, it is very much like there's a lot of girl talk, and it's a lot of like I could talk to Monday, wishing I could talk to Monday, and I just don't relate to that at all. Um, I it is very much written for women. Like there's a interest. I listened to a psychologist one time. I found this really interesting. But when men write books, they often write like describing people like she has great curves or she had good hair or whatever it is. And women will often describe people in their clothing. So like she had a blue shirt on, she had dress on, she was wearing high heels. Like he'll describe everything that way. And it's just a little difference in the way that we psychologically describe things. And all of this book is like, and her hair was done like this, and her shoes were this way, and her clothes were this way, and they would go into specific like what makeup they would wear, and they would talk about doing their nails, and like it was very much the target audience for this is teenage girls for sure, without a doubt. But that doesn't mean that she didn't write a compelling story that was well done and a murder mystery worth exploring. Just because I'm not the target audience doesn't mean that it's not still good. Does that sort of answer your question, Lauren?
Yeah, I just think it's like good for people to read outside of like the target audience because I think it opens up your point of view of things because then you do get to see the point of view of like that teenage girl. So I think that it's interesting because it could be technically you could be a target audience if that's what you're like trying to understand, if that makes sense. So that's
I
where I was like, I didn't know if you were looking to expand your POV or if it was, um,
I agree with that quite a bit actually. Like I read Twilight, the first one, because I wanted to understand women's point of view more. Um, I'm going to read Pride and Prejudice at some point for the exact same reason. Like I think there is a lot of value in that, for real. But just because there's a lot of value in that doesn't mean that my enjoyment of it won't still be brought down some. Like I love Outlander, the TV show. I love it. One of my favorite shows of all time. The books are it's definitely a woman author, and she gets into like every single little thing about everybody that lives in this village. And I just don't care. Like what the backstory of the baker, I don't care. He's not important to the story. He doesn't matter to the story. And Outlander, I think the book series is really good. I think it's well written, but in my experience, women in just in generalities, women care about people more than things. Like that's very general. And so a lot of times women will care about all of these people, and I don't. And it makes me like Outlander less. And part of the reason why I like the show so much is they don't have time to get into every single side character. If you are not a main important character, you are not getting the show. So I get the great story without all of the other stuff. Does that make sense? Is that
yeah.
fair? Okay. Yeah, that's I don't know. It was I'm still glad I read it. Very enjoyable time. Enjoyable book.
Cool, cool. Did you rate it?
7. I gave it a 7.
Okay. All right. Josh, let's go on to your topic.
So this is one I believe both of you have already given your 2 cents on. If I am remembering properly, both of you said it is the second worst Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I said. And I was debating whether it was the worst. I still think it's the second.
I know the second is the worst.
Okay. So I watched Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and I think that this is clear and away easily the worst Mission Impossible. It's not even close. Um, I get the complaints about the second one. I get that the first half of the movie is just about who wants to bone Tom Cruise and all that stuff, right? I understand the criticisms of it. I get it. However, this entire movie rests on luck, unlike the other ones. In every single other Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise has some clever plan, right? He outsmarts, outwits, outchallenges, outfights the villain. In this one, he is just lucky. And not just him, every single person in his crew is lucky. This is the least standalone movie. I actually started watching it, got like 30 minutes in, and was like, hold on, what? And had to go back and watch 3 different, like, everything you need to know before watching the final Reckoning movies. Was that worth it? No, it was not, because this movie sucked. It was garbage. I also don't think it was served because every single stunt was given away in the trailers. Right? I am very firmly on the side of every Mission Impossible is the exact same. Pick your favorite stunt and you have your favorite movie. Well, when you tell everybody what the stunts are gonna be, when they happen in the movie, you're like, yeah, I saw this already.
It's fair.
Okay. What? Okay. Side little joke, Ron Swanson was so close to getting what he wanted. No more government, right? He was so close. And then Ron Swanson dies, and my second joke is Ron Swanson's family's gathered around, and they ask the president, did the general have any last words for his loved ones? Awkward silence. No, he looked longingly into my eyes and said, Madam President. Tom Cruise jumps out of the biplane. And my question is, how exactly did his parachute catch fire? There's no cause for that. The soundtrack is bad in this one. Like, it is bad. It sounds like Walmart composed the Mission Impossible theme. It is just like, hey, we gotta make it unique. How do we do that? Well, let's off-tone the dun 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 dun, and let's make it dun 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 dun. Tom Cruise should have died underwater.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
should have
That's
drowned.
the
right?
worst part.
If he would have drowned and the whole crew had to like come together to finish the mission, you could have had somebody else do the biplane stunt, and it would have been a symbolic passing of the torch for this to happen. I don't get the whole this is the end of Mission Impossible rhetoric that has come out of this movie, because it literally ends with him being told, hey, this is what you were born to do, this is your life mission, and you're still needed. That's literally the last scene of the movie, which also he should not be alive for, but whatever, you know? This is just a bad Mission Impossible movie. 2 has problems, but I also see good in it and some enjoyment. It's not the most enjoyable movie. It's not the best Mission Impossible movie. I'm not going to say it's one of the best, because that's certainly not true.
But it's
But this
passable,
one is
where this one doesn't seem
Actually
passable.
bad. It's not passable. It is like, hey, if you wanted to listen to the Mission Impossible soundtrack, which Mission Impossible are you going to listen to, Conlon?
Fallout.
Is it going to be this one? No, it's not going to be this one. Do you want to see some cool stunts? Do you want to see the coolest stunt? I don't think the coolest stunt is in this one. I don't think
I agree with that.
it's-
I do
it
think
is
the
just
full
dry.
plane scene is very cool, legitimately.
I
And I think-
liked the plane scene until he reused the same tactic twice.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, let's move on. And then I also don't like that Gabriel, Tom Cruise's rival for his entire life, right, going back all the way to the first movie, how does he die? Oh, he says, I'm the only one with a parachute, and then smacks his face on the biplane. Like,
It's pretty lame.
that is a lame, like, that is a funny little like thing if that was just some guy, but that is his rival. That is not a satisfying way to defeat your rival. Oh, and by the way, there is another parachute. So what is he even talking about or laughing about in the end?
Just lame.
It's not good. It's not satisfying. The writing is weak. The stunts aren't great.
Did you think the before the end of the water scene, which I agree is completely ridiculous and is one of my least favorite parts? Did you like the first part of the water scene? Because I thought the sub was
No.
really cool until then.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
It's stolen.
What do you mean?
If you watch the show SEAL Team, they do the same thing,
Oh. Okay. I didn't know that.
and it's done better.
Really?
Why did Tom Cruise have to strip to his underwear?
I don't know. That's the thing that's one of the things I don't like
He
about it.
just had to take off his backpack and put it in front of him. If you watch
Yep.
SEAL Team, they actually do a mission and then escape to underwater and then come in through the torpedo tubes
Okay.
to be saved. Like, and they do it way better, and it feels cooler, and everything. And like, I did like the rolling submarine and the fact that the water shifting was what was causing that. What I didn't like was him being like, "Oh, can't go out that way because it's blocked by a torpedo." Except it's rolling, so the water is gonna move and gravity is gonna move the torpedo out of the way. So instead of like just escaping the way you came in, just having to wait a little bit, you actually have to like take off all your clothes apparently and try and squeeze through this torpedo tube for some reason. So yeah, it was just like didn't like it. I didn't like the submarine thing. I know a lot of people are like, it's the best stunt. Uh, like I've heard people talk about it as one of the best stunts in Mission Impossible. Period. Like all of them, and I'm like, no, it's not. Watch SEAL Team, and you will see a cooler version of that. Except they did it like 6 years ago. I didn't have high expectations of this movie. I know it wasn't reviewing particularly well, but a lot of people were still saying it's a good send-off for Tom Cruise's character, and, you know, it's still watchable. It is not watchable.
You thought it was
I
that
will
bad?
I will watch all of the Mission Impossibles again, except this one.
Wow.
I don't see any redeeming qualities in it. Like I said, I didn't like the music. I didn't like the writing. I didn't like the character development that happened.
Did you like the connection to the first movie with the guy who was the guard? I actually liked that. I liked that little tidbit.
The guy that he stole
Awesome.
from.
Yeah.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
The dude who was in the first movie who
Ends up being, he's the guy who ends up being married to the Inuit woman in the Arctic. He was like fired from the place that Tom Cruise's character stole the thing, and so that Tom Cruise stole from, and so he got fired and then ended up being in that outpost.
I didn't make that connection, and I don't care.
Okay. I liked that little connection. I liked. There were parts of this movie that I liked. There are parts of the movie that I liked, but there are problems with this movie. Like I was saying when I originally reviewed, there are problems. But that's fair.
What did
I'm
you
guessing
rate it?
when I rated it, I think I gave it a 6.5. I think.
Lauren, what did you rate it?
I rated it higher because I went and saw it with my grandpa. My grandpa really liked it, so I enjoyed it for watching it with him, but I did not really enjoy the movie.
There were major problems with this one.
Yeah, I didn't really pick it apart. I just watched it as I was watching something and just let it be that way.
I think that if you are a person who's particularly afraid of AI, this movie might kind of work for you. But I'm not. So
Yeah.
none of this movie worked for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything that you mentioned. I mean, I remember thinking in the theater, I'm like, why is he taking his clothes off? Why is this? Yeah, I had like all of the same thoughts in the theater. I was like,
Why
and then
didn't the AI make a copy of itself instead of going into this one spot? Why?
yeah,
You know what's
that
really crazy about that? The thing that the AI is held in would be more valuable than the AI. It's the size of
Yeah,
one of those old film tubes, and they say that it holds 36 terabytes of data.
that would be
Like,
insane.
if you can make 36 terabytes that small, people are going to be interested. Like,
somebody's gonna accidentally download that AI.
yeah, yeah, I don't see any redeeming qualities of it. I don't get the everybody's afraid of it. I didn't like the Madam President. I didn't like all those scenes and everything building up to it. It's
I
just
think
not good.
this movie should have, because it doesn't really feel like a good villain presence either. Because the main, whatever his name is, the main villain, which I should remember his name. Like he's supposed to be the
Gabriel.
main villain. I forget his
Yeah.
name all the time. He's not very good. He's just not a good villain. I think the AI should have released one of the nukes at the very beginning of the movie so you feel more pressure. Because just like, you know that there's not going to be anything that really happens that's really bad. And it would have been cool if like Paris got wiped off the map or something. Like they weren't able to save everybody, but they were able to save somebody.
Yes,
If that
screw
makes
France.
sense. Would have brought more thrill, like would have been more tense. Yeah, screw France. France is the one that they should have bombed.
I
Okay,
don't
Berlin,
think that would have
whatever.
saved it at all, honestly.
I think you don't think it would have been better. That would have been more intense. You don't think so?
No, because it still doesn't make a villain, right? It's still a computer. It's still something you can unplug and disconnect from very easily. It's still not the like Gabriel should have been the villain, right? And the entity shouldn't have been its own thing that exists. Like, Gabriel should have had the entity. Gabriel should have been controlling the entity. It should have been some AI hack software that he was able to use, right? He should have launched the nuke, right? Because then you'd have a face to look at and know the villain is. But this was written by some writer who's like, AI's gonna take my job from me! Ah! And wrote a movie about it, and Tom Cruise was like, I get to do cool stunts? Sign me up! Like,
Well, I remember the first half of like the movie before this, the first half, like was way better done with the AI where they're like messing with the comms and everything. But then,
They
yeah,
should have kept doing that.
in this next one, it was like,
right, but the
yeah,
AI also wasn't the main focus. It was sides trying to get the AI. Right? You had faces, you had a team to root for and a team to root against.
And
this
the
one
AI
was
was
like
ruining.
6 teams? Like, this is the Battle of Five Armies all over again, where you don't know what the teams are, you don't know who's fighting for who, you don't really know what's going on, and then the movie's over.
I was gonna say the AI is used to ruin all of Tom Cruise's normal ways of dealing with problems. And it makes it really interesting. Like, can Tom Cruise develop and become something more than he was before? And in this one, he's like, well, you don't have to do any of that. You just go do cool stuff.
yeah. It was like I remember like, and this was with all of Mission Impossible, right? Everything is down to the last minute, but I felt like there were so many last minute things all together that like by the end I was like, yeah, I don't care anymore. But like I felt like I was too burnt out on last second.
That's true.
Um,
Benji's dying. We can defuse the bombs, but not clearly. Oh, I can defuse them partially, but It will only give us 10 seconds. Can we run to the door in 10 seconds? We're gonna find out. Okay, well, literally nobody is going to die. Choosing to stay back and making your sacrifice literally means nothing now. They went over the plan ahead of time, and yet at the same time, Benji has to stay awake to tell them the plan again.
I didn't notice that, but you're right. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they go into the plan, and then they're like, Benji, wake up! What do I do?
Well, I thought that they were telling him to tell them how to fix him, but...
Well, he did that too. He was playing doctor, and he was playing know-it-all, and, like, he was shot, so he was bleeding out, so there was supposed to be this, like, what if he dies? But the fact that he didn't stay back at the bomb says he's not going to die, and, like... Then they go in, and they're like, okay, Benji, walk us through. And he's like, okay, you have to shut down the servers. Now you have to turn it back on. And you have to cut this wire, and then you have the blink of an eye thing. But there was a whole scene where Tom Cruise was like, this is how you do it. And
Yeah. I couldn't remember if he was still playing doctor with himself. But...
no, it was like during and then after he was playing doctor. And it's just, like I said, there's a lot going on. They're trying to build all these stakes, but none of the stakes feel real because nothing can happen. Tom Cruise can literally drown to death and go to the surface without a decompression thing. Which, by the way, he was told 6 times, if you don't have the decompression chamber, you're gonna die. Did he have the decompression chamber? No, he did not. Did he die? No, because apparently she has the kiss of life. And
also, like, a decompression chamber takes weeks. They had hours.
That wasn't my big thing. My big thing was you were on this big thing of ice, and you drowned clear down here. Yeah, if you float up, if you have air in your body and you float up to the surface, like, if we say that is possible. You had to have floated perfectly to be able to have her find you. You had to be literally perfect. If you didn't float perfectly, she was never going to find you, ever.
Well,
and there wasn't a hole in the ice already.
Didn't he have, like, a homing thing on him, and that's how they were to find him specifically?
Yeah, but he's underneath the ice, and there's not a hole in the ice yet. So she would have to go beep 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 and go to it, and then cut a hole in the ice and pull him out.
That was where my problem was. It wasn't finding him. I was okay if they found his body and pulled the AI thing off of him and said, oh, this sucks, but we still have to complete the mission, right? My whole problem was that, like, he somehow lived. I'm like, no, he should be dead. He should have drowned. He was an idiot who couldn't think through a simple problem, and he should be dead now. There was so much luck in this movie. Every single thing came down to luck, and that's not the Mission Impossible way.
I think
just bad.
Literally the only thing that felt Mission Impossible to me was when because they specifically had her get the AI in the bottle because she was a pickpocket and was quick. And so that was the only thing that didn't feel like luck because she is quick. But yeah, I agree.
I get that. I also liked the whole coordinates thing and how the doctor transmitted it by saying it was in the opposite side of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
That was clever from his side. Tom Cruise figuring out that it was the opposite side was kind of dumb because, again, that would have been just luck. Like, well, what if it is the exact opposite side of the planet? Oh, let's go there. Okay, look, we found it.
Yeah.
All right.
So is it a 2? Is it a 3? What is it, Josh?
It's
a 1.
It's a 1. This is a bad movie.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's go on to my topic. So, full disclosure, I did not watch The Village this week, but I was trying to think of, like, my top 10 movies, because I didn't...
You would never watch in a million years?
Shut up. I know you don't like The Village.
The The Village, the horror movie?
Yeah.
I'm
This
surprised
is in
you
your.
would even watch this.
Me
Yeah,
too.
this used to be on my top 10 for a very specific reason. Um and I was realizing like before you guys had this podcast and stuff, Josh would ask me to rate things from 1 to 10, and I would either say 10 or 1. No other numbers exist. So, and he would like get upset. He's like, "So you're saying it's perfect?" I'm like, "No, it's just a 10." And so I was like thinking of like my top 10 movies now because it's drastically changed. And I used to have The Village being like the top of my top movies because one, I really loved the soundtrack. I still do. Uh, two, there was like one line that described me that I knew people didn't know about me. And so I would be like, everybody watch this movie so that you can pick up on this one weird line that's me, that's made me feel seen. But no one ever would like know that because I didn't tell them to watch the movie because of that scene, you know? And so I'd be like, you should watch this movie. And people are like, why do you love this movie? And I'm like, you don't get it. And so there's like literally this one scene where she's I can't remember if it's the main girl or the guy who says it. Um I think it's the main girl. She says sometimes we don't do things because we don't want people to know we want to. And I like there was so many things when like I was growing up I didn't do like if I liked somebody I would never talk to them because I'm like I can't let anyone know that I like this person. Or if I really loved something I wouldn't let anyone know I liked this thing because I didn't want anyone to know that I liked this thing because then they would tease me about it, or they would like I felt like somehow they would taint it by like knowing I liked it and then saying something they didn't like about it. And so I'd always like have these things that I would like try to protect because I didn't want people to ruin it for me. And so I always had like I was trying to I was just like an awkward little child and I didn't know how to have a conversation with somebody. And so I would be like, watch this movie and you should find this little riddle about me in it. And of course, nobody knew that's what I was actually saying when I'm like, this is my favorite movie. You should watch this movie. Because I very much like growing up, if I told somebody they needed to like listen to music or they watch a movie, it meant that there was like some line in there that meant something to me. And I thought that if they really knew me, they would know it, you know? And then since then, I've learned what communication is. I tell people stuff now, but I thought it was interesting to like bring this up on the podcast since we do talk about like why we like things. And I remember one of you trashing The Village on on the podcast before, so I thought I'd bring it up that I actually like I don't think that it's the greatest movie, but first it had been on my top 10 for forever just because of that one line in there that I felt like described me very well.
Cool. That's very
But
cool.
yeah, I actually and like it is a horror movie, but I actually wasn't scared about it and I think it's because they like debunk that it was just them trying to scare them and there wasn't actually a monster. So it didn't feel very horror to me.
I've got no
But
idea. I've never seen it.
you haven't seen it? You should watch it for that one specific reason.
I have seen it, so I was probably the one trashing on it. I need to rewatch this movie because when I first watched it, I was so unbelievably disappointed by the ending. The ending did not work for me, like
Oh, I
at all.
loved it.
And I didn't like Signs when I first watched it either. And I was like, I will never watch Signs again. Signs is a stupid movie. And my wife doesn't like horror movies, and she loves Signs. And I was
Science
like,
is good
okay,
too.
I will rewatch it. And that's one of the biggest shifts I've had in a movie because I think Signs is great, and I don't know what I was smoking. So I'm gonna rewatch The Village at some point.
I the director I actually really like his movies. We'll never speak about Avatar. Um, but his usual genre of movies, I really like how he um, what's that called? He uses some very interesting camera angles that I really like. So like
He
there's
does
one
do
in
that.
particular where it's like behind a fire, like the camera's in the fireplace and you're looking out through the fire into like this scene, and he does a lot of things like that. Like he loves to frame his scenes. Um and he does it very creatively. But yeah, he's one of my favorite directors. I love Signs. I love Sixth Sense. I love The Village. Those are like the only horrors that I'll watch. So
Have you seen Old?
no, I know that's by him. That one weirded me out a little bit too much in the trailer.
I would be super interested in what you think about Old.
Did you like it? Did you see it?
I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know. It's a weird movie, and there are parts of it that I very much do not like. But there's
Yeah.
parts of it that I do. I don't know.
I think it was because I feel like you reviewed it on the podcast. Yeah.
Did I want to review Old? I don't think I reviewed Old. I don't think I've reviewed
So
Old.
Oh, well, I thought somebody was telling me about it. Maybe you told me about it outside of the podcast, but that there's some disturbing scenes that I was like, no, thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's why I'm not watching that one.
It is not one that I would recommend to Josh because there's parts of it that I think you would absolutely hate. But you might. I don't know. I would be interested in what you think about it. This one I
Yeah.
would be interested in what you think about it.
Yeah, Josh, if you haven't seen The Village, I would recommend it.
I would be interested in if the ending works for you, Josh, or not.
Yeah,
well,
'cause I
October's coming up. We can do all horror shared topics.
That sounds fantastic.
Alvin and the Chipmunks though.
We'll throw in one of those.
It's
Yeah. You can throw in one of those.
I'm
You
like-
can throw in a Halloween Town or something.
Yeah.
no
Okay, it's not Halloween Town. It's not a very good movie. That was not a good one.
vetoed.
Veto.
I don't know. Some other ones. There's Casper or something.
I love Casper. All right, so moving on, Conlon, your second topic.
I love this book. I love this book. I love this book. And Josh, you should read this book.
Is it for teenage girls? Because apparently that's what you think I am.
No, this one is great.
Is it for teenage girls?
Preteen girls. Gotta be specific, because
This one is for everybody. What's the other Agatha Christie that we reviewed? What is it called? Ah,
there were none.
And Then There Were None. I think And Then There Were None is technically a better written mystery by some.
That's
I do.
because that's probably one of the best of all time.
Probably. It's very, very good, and I couldn't completely guess what was... I guessed who the murderer was in this book. But this one is more fun to me. I had just a really, really good time. When I think about murder mysteries that are just like that fun, zany, good time murder mystery, quirky kind of a thing, I think of this book. It's like, it was just so fun. And I loved the way that the murder mystery came together. I loved all the clues. I didn't get all the clues. I did miss some of them. They make sense. The point of view and the way that they tell the story is really interesting. It's this doctor that lives in this town. And Fierro, or whatever his name is, her main detective that she writes a lot about. He is a retired guy who's in this town, and they convince him to be a part of the murder mystery and figure out who is the killer. So it's all coming from this doctor's point of view, and the doctor's kind of like writing a book to tell the story of what is going on. And I love that writing point of view. I love the way it's written. All of the characters don't feel cliche to me. They feel fleshed out to the point that they can be with the story time that they have. The main detective is just got a lot of personality. It's a lot of fun. I love the way that the mystery comes together. It's a fantastic book. Like, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I cannot recommend this enough. It is a 9. I love this book. Love, 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 love. Agatha Christie, in my opinion, is the GOAT, but I also haven't read that much murder mystery. I'll be completely honest. But of the murder mysteries that I've read, this is my favorite.
Who writes this one?
Agatha Christie.
Oh, okay. For a second I thought it was like a different author because we talked about and then there were none, and so I was like trying to figure out who the author was, but it was Agatha Christie. Okay.
I've tried other murder mysteries, and I should like them more than I do, but they're usually kind of like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I just love this book. I will absolutely listen to this book again. I will listen to this book again. It's great. You should read it, Josh. For real. And you should read it, Lauren. Both of you should read this book, because it's just a good time. I was feeling a little bit burnt out on fantasy, I think, and this was really refreshing to me. It was, I did guess who the murderer was, but I didn't know completely why, and that was a lot of fun to try to put that piece together. It's just good. It's just good.
So, and you've read And Then There Were None?
Yeah.
And then, like, comparatively, this one's, like, more fun?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more of a fun, like, it feels like a
more
50s
lighthearted.
Clue kind of a thing, if you get what I mean, sorta. And then Where There Were None is a pretty dark, like.
Oh, okay.
It's darker. This one is just more fun, a little bit more zany, and I really, really enjoyed this book.
Okay. That's good to know, because I need to get more, I just, like, ran through all of the stuff that I was on my list to listen to, so I was in need of new recommendations.
This is a high recommend for me.
All right. Okay, let's go on to our shared topic. What's up, Doc? I suggested this. I think the first time I watched it was like, gosh, 7 years ago. I'm gonna, Josh, what were your thoughts on this?
This one has been on my list for years. I love rom-coms. I'm a big fan of Barbra Streisand. I think she does an excellent job in all of her musicals and stuff. So this one has just been on my radar for a very long time, but I had never watched it. Finally did this morning. Finished it like an hour before we started recording. And I now know where I've seen the scene with the cars going down the twisty downhill. I've seen that scene, like, everywhere. But now I know what it's from. I think a lot of the gimmicks and quirkiness is very well done. The actors, everything. That being said, outside of what was in there to be funny, I absolutely despised. I hate Barbra Streisand's character. I hate what she does. I hate everything about her. Everything. She basically shows up in this hotel, overhears that he's a doctor, either thinks that he's attractive or rich or both, and decides to completely ruin his life. And utterly does that over 48 hours. And I hated it. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
Alright, what do you think, Colin?
I was watching it and I was like, did Josh recommend this or did Lauren? I don't know. I could see this coming from either of them. We did talk about Barbra Streisand and like watching more of her movies. And why did they pick this one? The entire time I was like, why is she doing any of this stuff? I need to know. Like, why is she doing this? Is she trying to get the money? Like, what is going on? And the end of the movie comes and I still don't know why she did any of the stuff that she did. I think the aspect of mixing up the bags was actually pretty clever, and I liked that aspect of the story. But I also don't like Barbara Streisand in this movie at all. I don't like her character. I want to understand her character. Maybe if I understood it, I could be like, well, this isn't really a romance, but okay. And throw that all away. If I understood her character, like, why is she doing what she's doing? I get to the end of the movie, and they're in love, I guess, for some reason, and I don't know why. With the guy, I don't know what the actor's name is, but he looks like Ryan Reynolds. I was like, is this Ryan? Are they related? Like, what the heck? The entire movie.
Papa Reynolds.
Papa Reynolds. I was like, is this his cousin? Is this his uncle? What the heck is going on? They get, they have the scene where he goes up on the roof, and you can just apparently just do that. You can just go up on the roof, and she is laying underneath a blanket for him to pull off. Like, how in the hell did you know that he was going to come up there? And I just pictured her like waiting there, like, okay, is I hear an elevator. Oh shoot, that's not him. That's the cleaning guy. Fetch. Okay, is he here yet? No, not yet. Okay, I'll just lay here longer. I don't know. Zany garbage. Didn't really like it very much. So, you have this clever aspect of the bags and the bags getting switched back and forth, which I liked. That could have been a good movie. But your main character you don't like, and I don't care how much the movie has some charms, if you don't like the main character, you don't understand the main character, the movie is not going to work. And the movie did not work for me, like, at all. Unfortunately. When it could have been. It could have been good. It could have been good. But it's not.
I disagree. It couldn't have been. There is no explanation for what she is doing to make you forgive what she is doing.
So let's change it. Like, there's a reason that she's trying to do all of this. Like, she wants money or something, and she's kind of like this heist girl, and that's where it's coming from. I could
And
see
I also
something
hate
good
her.
there. I would still hate her, but like I could understand her, and I can enjoy a movie where I hate the main character, but I like understand the motivations of the main character. The fact that I don't understand at the end of the movie why she's doing anything that she's doing, or why there's this connection, or why they're trying to make this a rom-com, makes it so I cannot get behind the movie. I can't get behind the story that you're trying to teach. I can't get behind any of it because I don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I recommended this one. This was not the one I thought it was.
Oh,
So when
Hold
I
on,
did
time out. For the record, Conlon is the one who originally recommended this and put it on our possible shared topics list. Lauren picked it from that list.
okay.
yeah,
It has been on my list.
I had
Not good.
seen this movie, but I watched it with another movie, and that was the movie that I thought we were going to be watching. And I remember, like, I was like, oh yeah, it was super charming, I remember. And then I started watching this, and I was like, oh wait, no, this isn't, no. And I remember being like, first, yeah, Barbara's character, horrible. She just needed to leave him alone. And then his character, like, I didn't quite like his character either. He was just like super whiny and like was just kind of a go with the flow. And then when there was the mix up of Barbara pretending to be his fiance, and the fiance comes up, but the guy who's going to give him the grant likes Barbara, he's like, I've never seen this woman in my life. That made me hate him as a character right then. I was like, before it was kind of like, okay, he's just like this kind of pushover and can't like really get a word in sideways. But then he had that moment where he's like, oh, I've never seen this woman in my life. And I was like, yeah,
And
I
I
don't like
also
him.
didn't like the other woman.
Oh yeah,
Whatever
she was
Unis.
annoying, but
She
she
was annoying
didn't
as
deserve
hell.
that either.
She didn't
Yeah,
deserve it, but she was annoying.
yeah, and so that's why I was like, oh yeah, I remember this one was not the one I wanted to watch. Because I remembered out of the two, there was one that I had like sat there and was like looking around the room at the people who were like, let's watch What's Up, Doc? Because we had like this movie night in my apartment, and we watched What's Up, Doc? And then I think the other one's something along the lines of like How to Murder Your Wife or something like that, but I can't remember. I can't remember the title exactly. And that was the one that I was thinking of. And then this was the one we got. But yeah, I remembered thinking last time, I was like, everybody really loves this movie. And I don't get it. Like, maybe with the heists and everything, but, and I think to answer your question of like, why was she there? She did go to college about the same things that he had. And the guy at the end who was looking for the grant had stole all of her work, Barbara Streisand's work. And I can't remember if she was there to like debunk him. I don't think she was there to debunk him, but they somehow find out that the one dude had stolen Barbara's work. But yeah, it was a movie.
It was a movie for sure.
I was glad we got that one knocked off the list.
Me too.
Yeah, sorry that I recommended it because that was not the movie that I thought it was.
You don't have to apologize. Like, Conlon and I both had it on our list. Like I said,
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to watching this. It's rated as one of the top romance movies of all time. It's
Really?
got Streisand in it. I was
Yep.
like,
Ooh.
yeah, this is right up my alley. I should watch it. I just never ended up doing it, and this got me to watch it. So you shouldn't apologize. I finally watched it. My only explanation for her motivations is she's shallow and she wants his money because he's a doctor, or she's shallow and she thinks he's hot, or both.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all not good enough. There is no good enough explanation.
Yeah.
There's no explanation to make me like her character.
Yeah, I remember like watching this and I was like, I don't like any of these characters. I don't care if all the bad things happen to all of these characters.
I like the judge.
The judge was good.
The
I
judge
like
was
the
good.
judge.
I like
What's the
judge
blue
too.
pill for? I don't know. They're afraid to tell me. Like, that is.
The yellow pills help me
That's
to
good.
remind me to take the blue pill.
Like, I like
That was
the
funny.
judge. Some of the comedic bits work.
Some of the comedic breaks work, and some of them are actually pretty clever. I don't remember what they were, but there were some where I was like, that was clever. That was good.
Yeah. It's just the overall movie and the fact that the main character is either for no reason or very, very, very shallow, selfish reasons, ruining people's lives, is kind of too much to get past for me.
Yeah, it would have been another thing if she was like accidentally ruining his life. Like in the very first scene, you just see her walking and she's causing all these accidents just from her walking. And like if it was accidentally upsetting his life, but no, she's like maliciously upsetting his life. So I agree.
Yeah. So for me, it was I got 3.5.
It's very kind of you. For me, it was a 2. It gets 1 point for some of the comedic bits, and that's it.
I was about to say two too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
hey, we
always
agreed
the
on something.
sunshiny good one of this of this clan. I always just rate things highly.
Always.
Always. I'm a bright disposition.
All right, with that, that looks like that's our episodes for this week. Have a good week, and hopefully it's better than What's Up, Doc. Bye.
See you guys.